Alright, let's see what's going on. Hopefully now it's working. Huh. What happened there? I thought I clicked that button, but I re-click it. Not connected. Oh boy. Oh, it says it's not connected. Okay, I'll have a double check that. Sorry guys, give me a minute. I'm putting... Copy. I don't know what's going on there. Paste virtual content, virtual. Output settings. Put the key in here. Paste. Redo. Hopefully now it'll work. If it doesn't, I won't use it. That's working. Good. Alright, it must have been wrong. Alright, I think we're ready to go. Oh, cool. Alright. Let me fix up my window. So probably won't be on too long, guys. Not today, anyway. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. I had to open the window, let some natural light in. So today, I don't know what we're talking about. I just want to see what's going on in the internet world. Starting with Australia stuff. I'm probably going to do Australia and the the world stuff together, because it just makes more sense. But looks like we're ready to go, which is great news for us. Yeah, ready to go, I guess. See what's going on. Now let's bring out the, goodness sakes, bring out YouTube. Let's see, I did put some in. So I got so many channels, guys, and sometimes when I see things, they get. Oh, here's one right now. That's okay.
We are.
So apparently, someone's telling me his hit. Why am I not surprised? Let's see what he's gonna say, guys. Let's fix up the source and all that. Get everything sorted out. Alrighty, guys, we're back. We're gonna watch this. Let's see what's going on.
Drowning in debt. We can't buy homes. Crime is at
We
an
all know the
all-time
speed, guys.
level.
We can only
This
watch things at around
country
about
is
1.5 because
falling
it's just
apart. And all the while,
speed I can
rather
deal
than
things.
worrying about the things that actually matter, the media in this country, the government in this country is obsessed with spin and just corporate bullshit all about one thing. And guess what? You're going to hear what I'm about to say and you're going to go, that's not exciting at all. I'm going to click off, but this is very bloody important. This is a video all about the lie that is net zero. All right, let me start off.
Yes, the net zero thing.
About a lie. It is a lie because you are promised that this is going to save the world. We have a whole generation of kids who are terrified. Some on medical.
So yeah, there's a whole lot of thing going on around about this net zero stuff. I believe here's the thing about me. For me personally, I think it's a good idea. Obviously, do the environment type of thing. But I don't like how they're talking about it. I think they treat it badly because well, this video will go for what we've got to talk about.
And adults too, because of the quote-unquote global climate crisis. All right, there are people living their lives terrified. Genuinely young people believe that they won't be able to live a full and happy life because the world's going to end because of climate change. Now, what are my thoughts on climate change? Well, this may come as a shock to you, but I do believe the climate has changed over the past couple of 100 years. I guess the questions that surround that no one really talks about is how much of a role did humans play in it? Is it reversible? And does net zero actually do anything? Well, I can answer the last question pretty bloody well. Net zero does fuck all. Governments who have been voted in to lead have spent their entire campaign talking about net zero. So what does it actually mean? Ladies and gentlemen,
nothing
this video is brought to you by the great people at Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device, and what it does is it takes away the bad from your bad habit. All you do is swap that bad thing for this Fume thing, and there you go. You've broken the bad habit. Flavored air contains no nicotine, no smoke, no vapor. It is just flavored air. My favorite flavor, in fact, is crisp mint. It's very, very yummy. I like it a lot. It's light.
Of course you do.
And you can have something in your hand, so you're still doing the action, that sort of thing. It's very, very helpful to break those bad habits. And with more and more people taking up those,
I don't really have that bad habit, so I don't really smoke.
Over 700,000 people have already started their journey with Fume. You'll get a QR code omission fee, but
all right, here we go.
Write it off. We go, they don't matter because we've put a fucking tree over here. Okay, I'm being facetious. It's not just trees. We're talking about renewable energies. And when you put them in place, say for solar energy or solar panels, it offsets the carbon that is being released when you make electricity. Except to make the solar panels, you have to release a heap of carbon. Yeah, whatever. So the carbon isn't actually going anywhere. Well, it's going into the atmosphere still. It's not actually disappearing. In fact, it's just being cancelled out on paper. Whatever the fuck that means. You can also
I don't get
pay
that.
people to absorb it. I don't know what that fucking means. And you can also buy things called carbon credits. Wow, isn't that amazing? This shit stinks like it's some corporate fucking lobbying bullshit. That's what it smells like, okay, ladies and gents? What's more is it's become a religion. People are obsessed with net zero and the whole
I don't
idea
even
of
care
circular
about it that
economy.
much.
And I think that people use this type of shit like a religion because they're so desperate for answers. They've grown up or they've continued to get older and understood that, you know, the whole world's going to end because we drive cars around and we burn fossil fuels, etc., etc. Now, I don't disagree that we should look after our environment. I think the only thing I disagree with is, well, net zero. I think it's a fucking just a ridiculous lie. But
Yeah.
what I don't disagree with is using renewables. But what I do disagree with is saying, hey, we should use renewables next year. Okay, that's what you hear.
Oh,
about
yeah,
these things.
definitely
Why don't
agree
you
with
use
that.
renewables now?
Don't
I've got a
use
few
it
mates
now.
in the electrical engineer business, and they are very
So yeah, you would want to use them as technology goes, guys. Slowly and steadily. As the technology improves, you'll be able to use more and more of it, and will definitely become a bit more usable. At the moment, it's still early. Still got a lot to do.
much more smarter than I.
All
And
right,
he
let's
said
go.
to me, yeah, it's great in theory, but in practice, it just doesn't exist. We don't have the infrastructure. It's not there, and it's not going to be there for a very fucking long time, and it's going to cost a fortune.
Fortune, yeah.
It's going to cost an absolute
Coal will
fortune to
probably be
put
the
all
best
that in
idea for the
place
time being.
all to get to net zero. This whole process is going to cost a fuck ton of money.
Oh,
Australia
yeah.
is already in a massive amount of debt. So is America, so is England. We're all in fucking debt. And Australia's government wants to sign us up for all these net zero targets, which is going to cost millions of dollars. When I say millions of dollars, I mean
I mean, not just on the... Like, you're going to have the jobs issue. Obviously, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs because of that. There might be some new jobs, but I don't think that's going to be a real thing. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the net zero type of thing. I mean, yes, I agree with technology should change over time, but it should be gradual, not quickly.
billions of dollars, and we are already in $1 trillion debt. And you know what? This may end up costing another $1 trillion. And that's the crazy thing, is the government is using our money, the money we pay them through taxes, to do
Yes.
what is right for us, what is most beneficial for us. And they're giving it away to this concept that no one can really explain without mumbling their way through it. It's a fucking pyramid scheme is what it is.
Ah,
You're not even
that's what it
taxing
sounds
the
like.
carbon. You're not stopping the carbon. Not to mention, Australia's this tiny place that emits less than 1% of the world's fucking carbon.
Yeah, that's true. We barely have a dent on the whole environment thing. I mean, as you just said, we're not even 1%, so I don't know why Australia's making it such a big deal. But we'll see what else he says.
Right? And we've got to spend $1 trillion.
All right.
Meanwhile, the Chinese are over there dropping methane, big old farts out of factories like it's going out of fashion. Every day, China is emitting more carbon than Australia emits in a
Oh my god, China is such a polluted state or country. It's unbelievable. I'll never go to China, guys. Not, at least not to stay there. Visit maybe, but never stay there. I like my city how it is. Even though we've got the biggest crime in the world, or in Australia at least. But
100,000 fucking years. That's not accurate, but it sounds about right. We should stop using coal, maybe in the next 100 years or so, all right, and move to more renewable energies.
probably
Now, I don't
50.
know about you, but nuclear comes up a lot. All the time. Now people freak out about nuclear and they worry and they're stressed. Like, what do you do with all the waste? And what if like a Fukushima thing happens, like it did in Japan, or what if what happened in the Ukraine happens? Now you got to remember, particularly with what happened in the Ukraine at Chernobyl, that happened. Was that the 80s or the 70s? It's a very, very long time ago. 26th of April, 1986. That's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you may say correctly that 40 years is not a long time, but when you are speaking about technology, 40 years is a very long time. Nuclear power is far more safer than it's ever been, and that's why most countries use it. And don't get me wrong, you would face enormous amounts of cost if you decided to set up nuclear reactors all over the country to produce nuclear energy. And don't forget how nuclear power actually makes electricity, right? You take the uranium, you split the atom, you do all that type of stuff. The fusion creates enormous amounts of heat, which boils a lot of water, creating super hot steam and super powered steam, and it spins a turbine and creates electricity. Okay, so there's nothing nuclear coming into your house.
Isn't it amazing how much he actually knows about it? I mean, he explained it pretty much bare bones. So I'm pretty happy with that. I know how it works, a bit more detail, but he's basically got the gist of it. Yeah, so he's right. It's just splitting the atom, you know, it correct. Obviously, it heats up, heats the water goes around turbines, blah, 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 blah. It generates electricity that way. You don't have nuclear actually going to your house. I don't know whose idea that was that's said that. I don't even know if anyone said that. It sounds stupid. We all know that's not how nuclear works.
Like, chill the fuck out about that. It's a whole lot safer, and it's something we should definitely look at. Definitely expensive. We're looking at like 300, 400, 500 billion dollars over 20 years. But it's better than $1 trillion. It's a whole lot better than $1 trillion, or however much net zero costs. Now, net zero is not going to cost $1 trillion in Australia, no doubt. But what's going to happen is we're going to try and hit this net zero target, and it's going to keep getting pushed back.
I mean, nuclear will be a good start. I mean, because we can use, as technology improves with solar panels, wind power, and all that shit, Yeah, I think it'd be good.
From 2050 to later and later and later. And we're going to get to the point where we go, well, fuck, this doesn't mean anything. Why don't we look at nuclear? We don't have batteries big enough. We don't have the infrastructure. We have to use enormous amounts of carbon and fossil fuels to create this in the first place. Whereas if we went nuclear, we could just, do a one-time thing, build a big old reactor. Now, obviously, there's more to it than that. But then you've got electricity for, well, however long you need it, I guess. Right? Now, Australia, as I said before, it doesn't produce that much carbon, but per person, we produce quite a bit. Our carbon footprint is quite large. Now, when I read
that's true.
We must be watching a lot of TV. We must be using.
I mean, if you look at my house, guys, my room uses a lot of it. I've got the lights on. I've got my computer on. I've got the 2 monitors plus the Xbox. I've got a laptop on the right side of me. I've got everything going.
Putting the lights on too much, and then I thought, no, hang on a fucking second. It's because it's fucking hot. We've got the air conditioner going. All right. So you fucking smart boon counters in the government, work out why air conditioners are so expensive to run, okay, why they use so much fuel, and then change that up, sort that shit out, put a fucking solar panel on everyone's air conditioner, and we should be sweet, right? Or at the very least, does this not make sense? And I know I'm going back and forth with this video and fucking everywhere, but I'm thinking on the go, wouldn't you just pay people to put solar panels on their roof? If you put solar panels on everyone's roof, wouldn't that just put energy back into the system? Doesn't that make complete sense? The biggest issue
the government would do that.
The religion of net zero is this. It only works if everyone does it. If Australia does it and the UK does it, but America, Russia, China, don't do it, then it doesn't do shit. Do you think India gives a fuck about this? No, they don't give a fucking shit. They're too busy making egg sandwiches on the street with 400-year-old oil. They don't give a fuck about this. And on top of all of this,
I guess that's true.
Ask fires to stop happening, volcanoes to stop erupting. Since 1750, around the time of the Industrial Revolution, the world, or human beings, released somewhere around 1.6 trillion tons of CO2, carbon dioxide. Since then, 2.7 trillion tons has been released by wildfires. Now, notwithstanding, a lot of that carbon released by wildfires, because it's already above ground, it already exists in the environment, is reabsorbed, and the stuff that comes out of the ground through fossil fuels is not easily reabsorbed, so it sticks around for longer, and that's why the parts per million in the atmosphere has actually gone up. Now, my point is, we're never going to get to the point where we're cutting carbon out. Okay, we're never going to get to this point where it's zero or it's offset. So, look towards cleaner energy. That makes complete sense. But what doesn't make complete sense is not going nuclear. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, nuclear power is not this crazy, scary thing that it once was, okay? It's a lot safer. Do you know how many people have died in nuclear reactors since their invention? Around about 60. Do you know how many people have died in coal mines in the last 12 months?
Here we go.
7,000. That's worldwide, by the way. 7,000 in 12 months over what? 1 a year. There's your fucking answer. So, rather than spending trillions of dollars on wind farms, solar farms, massive fucking batteries, all this type of stuff, spend the billions rather than the trillions on a nuclear power system. Set out throughout the country and nice and far away from everyone so everyone's cool and calm and collected, and use that clean power. This whole concept of net zero is bullshit. It's a lie to make you feel better about what's happening. And I don't think unless we make drastic change, anything is really going to change.
Yeah.
And also, the great thing about a nuclear system is that all these coal miners, which there's a fuck ton in Australia, there's jobs, man. There's jobs in nuclear power, retrain these people, all this type of stuff. And because it takes time to build these networks, it's not going to be, we're going to switch off today and rely on fucking wind power tomorrow, or rely on solar power next week. It's not going to be that. It's going to be a long time, but that's okay. You've got to have this long outlook on things, this 50-year outlook on things, rather than just offsetting carbon by buying new fucking plants from Bunnings every second week. Like, that's just bullshit. Don't forget, when the government owes money, it means you owe money. It means this country's not doing well. The money we spend on bullshit like this, the more everything's going to cost. And that's not a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about all of this in the video down below. I'll probably change my mind next week once I've thought about something else, but I think it's an interesting conversation nonetheless. Ladies and gentlemen, head to isaacbutterfield.com. Go and watch my brand new special.
All right, yep, we'll get the hint, guys. Okay, so that's him talking about that, nuclear power. I don't know what you guys think about that. I've always been for it, personally, because it's definitely safer than it used to be. Yes, there's still a risk, but like, just don't put it in a stupid spot. Like right next to the ocean or something. At least if you're gonna, I know you'll need water to cool it down and all that, obviously, but you can easily just build a pipeline. Well, like a kilometer or 2 kilometers away or something, just to do that. But yeah, I agree with nuclear power. I think nuclear power will be a great way to deal with things. All right, let's see what else is there going to be to talk about today. All right, let's see if there's anything in the my good old watch list. So I usually put things in there. Obviously not, so I don't really want to go there. Give me a second, guys. I'll have to go over here. Let's go into, I think the Minecraft one had one. Let me check. Oh yeah, Melbourne built something that shouldn't be possible. That's interesting. Bigger the better, huh? So yeah, this is something I was interested in. Let's watch this, guys. This is something I want to see. I don't even know what it is, personally. I've probably been on the news like 60 times, but who knows? So yeah, this is our next victim. It's only a 10-minute video, so it's not a very long one. It's really the only one here, so let's go for it.
47 cranes, $15 billion, and a dream that just became reality. Melbourne's 5 million residents were trapped by a transport crisis that choked their entire city.
5 million people. We have 5 million people. Jesus Christ. Guys, I didn't know we had 5 million. I knew we had like I thought 3.4 or something like that. But apparently 5 million, a lot of people. Didn't know.
Every day, millions of passengers squeeze through a single underground bottleneck built in the late 90s.
Yes. The City Loop. So yeah, basically that's our main area. I know the City Loop very well because I was on it last Sunday.
The City Loop couldn't handle the load anymore. The solution? Bore twin 9-kilometer tunnels beneath Australia's densest urban core. Slice through bluestone bedrock, navigate around century-old foundations,
Goodness
all
gracious.
while keeping the city running above. November 30th.
That's a
2025,
challenge, I've got to
the
be
impossible
honest. That
became
would be
possible as the Metro Tunnel opened its doors. But what did it take to carve a new future beneath one of Australia's busiest cities? Let's find
That's interesting, guys. I never actually knew where the City Loop actually went around. I obviously knew about the City Loop, but I didn't know where exactly. All I know about is this area here, and a little bit up there, but I didn't know it goes like that. So it goes around the city. Obviously, it's going to go around the city. It's called the City Loop. What do you expect it to be called? But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know it in great detail, so that's kind of interesting.
out. Melbourne Transport Crisis Solution. Melbourne's transport network had a fatal flaw. The City Loop. This single underground rail circuit became the choke point for the entire metropolitan
Oh yeah,
system.
definitely a pain in
Every
the
train
ass.
from every direction had to squeeze through the same narrow tunnel. The loop was already over capacity, and without intervention, the network would collapse under Melbourne's explosive growth. Delays cascaded across the network like dominoes.
Yeah.
The human cost was real. Commuters from the outer suburbs faced 90-minute journeys for trips that should take 50 minutes. Parents missed their kids' bedtime stories because they were stuck on delayed trains.
Oh goodness.
Workers chose jobs based on train timetables, not career opportunities. The transport crisis was reshaping how people lived their lives. The government's response was audacious. Instead of expanding the existing loop, they'd bypass it entirely. Twin tunnels would slice beneath the
Goodness
CBD,
gracious.
connecting the busiest suburban lines without touching the congested city circuit. This wasn't just about adding capacity. This was about fundamentally rewiring how 5 million people move through their city.
Wow.
The tunnels would run 40 meters underground, deeper than any rail infrastructure in Australia. They passed beneath heritage buildings, active construction sites, and a web of utilities that kept the city alive. The scale was
One
staggering.
screw up, guys.
9 kilometers of
Kaboom!
twin tunnels, 5 new underground stations, all carved from bedrock, while Melbourne CBD operated normally overhead. But could they actually pull this off?
I think
The
they
answer came
can.
when thousands of Victorians lined up from dawn to be among the first passengers through the new underground network. Underground tunnel boring technology. 2 tunnel boring machines named Joan and Alice became the stars of this underground drama.
Damn.
Each machine weighs 7,000 tons and
Goodness
stretches 90
gracious.
meters
That's a
long.
lot of money.
These
I mean, a lot of
mechanical
weight.
beasts chewed through Melbourne's notorious bluestone and clay at a rate of 10 meters per day. The tunnels passed directly beneath Parliament Station, a 150-year-old heritage structure built on shallow
Wow.
foundations. One miscalculation could bring down Victoria's seat of government. The solution required surgical precision. Engineers installed over 300 support
Yeah,
pillars
that would
underpinning the
take a
station
lot of effort,
before the
wouldn't
boring
it?
machines arrived. Each pillar was positioned with millimeter accuracy. The margin for error, 0. The tunnel alignment demanded perfection. Gas mains, water pipes, fiber optic cables, and building foundations created a 3-dimensional maze 40 meters underground. The boring machines had to thread between these obstacles while maintaining laser-straight trajectories. Alice encountered bluestone so hard it shattered cutting tools designed for granite. The crew developed new diamond-tipped discs that could slice through rock harder than concrete. Joan faced underground water flows that threatened to flood the tunnels. Waterproof seals and constant pumping kept the bores dry. Temperature control became critical. At 40 meters depth, geothermal heating pushed air temperatures toward dangerous levels.
Yeah.
Industrial cooling
That would make it
systems
hot.
pump chilled air
You
through
don't want to
tunnels,
go in there hot,
creating an
guys. You
artificial
don't want to
climate for
melt,
crews
do you?
working below. The
Dehydration,
boring
all that
process
shit.
operated 24 hours a day. 3 shifts of engineers monitored every meter of progress. Laser guidance systems ensured the tunnels stayed within centimeters of their planned route. Real-time sensors detected ground
Yeah.
movement above,
Alright.
protecting the city's foundations. Each boring machine cost $50 million. They're custom-built for Melbourne's specific geological conditions. The cutter heads rotate at 2 revolutions per minute, applying 8,000 tons of force. Conveyor belts removed 1,000 cubic meters of excavated material daily. The breakthrough moments were cinematic. When Joan punched through to create the first complete tunnel, cheers echoed through chambers carved from 400-million-year-old
God
bedrock.
damn it.
Alice followed months later, completing the twin-bore system that now carries Melbourne's future beneath its feet. Melbourne Metro Tunnel cost budget. The Metro Tunnel sits at the center of Victoria's $100 billion Big Build program. That's more infrastructure spending than most countries attempt in a decade. Opposition politicians called it fiscal madness. Budget blowouts became inevitable.
Alright.
Initial estimates of $9 billion stretched to $15 billion as
Well,
engineering
how
challenges
the hell
mounted.
did they get that expensive?
Pandemic
That's a
disruptions
lot of
added
money.
complexity and cost. Labor shortages drove up wages. Global
Yeah.
supply chain issues inflated material prices.
Yeah, of course
Yet
it
the
did.
economic case remained solid. The government fired back with economic modeling. The Metro Tunnel would generate $1.30 in economic benefits for every dollar invested. Reduced travel times, increased productivity, and property development around new stations would pay dividends for generations. The timeline pressure was relentless. First passenger services were promised for late 2025. Missing that deadline would trigger penalty causes worth hundreds of millions. Political careers hung in the balance. Melbourne's population was growing by 100,000 people annually. Without the Metro Tunnel,
That's
the
a lot of
transport network would
people.
collapse under demand within a decade.
What? So that's what, a year? This explains what's getting so crowded around here. Remember when I was young, guys, the city wasn't that congested. Now it's really congested. Even in the suburbs where I live, out in the northeast area, that's really bad.
The choice wasn't between spending and saving money. It was between spending now or facing transport chaos later. The project
Transport
delivered
chaos
on time.
later.
The opening proves that massive infrastructure investments can work when engineering excellence meets political commitment. The
Yeah.
$15 billion price tag seems reasonable when measured against the alternative. A city
Definitely.
strangled by its own success. Melbourne train network transformation. The Metro Tunnel adds capacity and more. It
What's it
rewrites
do?
the rules of Melbourne transport. For the first time in the city's history, passengers can travel cross-city without changing trains. The Sunbury line connects directly to Cranbourne.
Oh, that's nice.
Pakenham links straight to the southeast. No more forced transfers through the congested city loop. The time savings.
Ah,
is
so it goes
dramatic.
by around
The
it.
journey from
Right,
Sunbury to Cranbourne
around it,
previously
yeah.
required 90 minutes and 2 train changes. The new network cuts that to 50 minutes on a single train. Commuters reclaim 40 minutes of their lives, twice daily. 5 new underground stations became architectural marvels carved from bedrock 40 meters below street level. Arden, Parkville, State Library, Town Hall, and Anzac feature soaring cathedral-like spaces with
Yep.
natural light filtering through glass atriums.
That'd be
These are
nice just to
underground
check it out,
landmarks that
guys. I
rival any
mean,
surface
I'm almost
competition.
tempted just to go on that train just to see it. I've got to get to that side of Melbourne because I'm not on that side of Melbourne. I'm on, the, like I said, east, but my train line doesn't go through that. So the only way to do it is I get onto the train line that does.
Each station handles
I don't have a
40,000
good phone,
passengers daily at
so
peak
it makes it
capacity.
hard too.
Platform screen doors prevent accidents and maintain climate control. Digital displays provide real-time information in multiple languages. Accessibility features include lifts, tactile guidance, and audio announcements for
Finally.
visually impaired passengers. The capacity explosion solves Melbourne's growth crisis.
Good.
The limited service launch already delivers 240 extra weekly services. When full operations begin February 1st, 2026.
Okay, it's
dubbed
not
the
far
Big
away,
Switch,
guys. That's
the network
yeah,
will
about a
carry an
month.
additional 1,000 weekly services. That's equivalent to removing 200,000 cars from peak hour roads. Property
That's
development
interesting.
follows the new stations like a magnet. High-rise apartments, office towers, and retail complexes cluster around each entrance. The
Cool.
Arden precinct transforms from industrial wasteland to high-density residential hub. Property values surge within walking distance of the new network. Local businesses report immediate impacts. Cafes, restaurants, and retail stores relocate to capture new passenger flows. Employment hubs emerge around station precincts.
Yeah, of
creating
course. It's a
workable
big,
work-live
it's a big
communities.
network,
The
guys. Through the
economic
train
multiplier
station and all
effect
that.
spreads as businesses relocate closer to stations.
Of course.
And workers choose homes based on Metro Tunnel access. Melbourne just solved a century-old transport crisis with impossible engineering.
Yeah, it hasn't. They
The
haven't.
city that was chosen
Yeah,
on its own
hasn't
success
changed for
now has
years.
room to grow for generations. The Metro Tunnel represents more than infrastructure. It's proof that cities can reinvent themselves without losing their character. Melbourne kept its heritage buildings, protected its neighborhoods, and still
Yep.
managed to thread modern transport beneath it all. The opening marks a turning point. Melbourne transforms from a city constrained by its transport network to one liberated by it. The tunnels move people and possibilities. If you want to see how other cities are tackling impossible infrastructure challenges, watch this next video about Singapore's underground expansion.
You know what? I'm interested. I might watch that. What guys? What we go? No, should we watch it? The Singapore one. It's not even on here. I'm curious about watching the 3 mega projects that are breaking Australia's riches. I'm curious. I'm going to watch it. I mean, why not? Got nothing. I'm just curious about some of these projects. I didn't even know about half of them because I don't follow it as much as I should. Let's check this one out, and then we'll probably finish this group. So there are some other creators that are from Australia I want to look at, of course.
$194 billion in debt.
Yeah, we
3
already know about
colossal
this one.
projects, and Australia's richest state gambling its future. The
Oh,
Metro
this
Tunnel
is the-
just
I think
opened
this is the-
November 30th, 2025.
Is this the same one? No, this is a different one. Yeah, this is definitely a different one. Okay, cool.
Passengers are riding through Melbourne's newest underground marvel. But while commuters celebrate, Victoria is hitting record debt levels that would make most countries nervous.
Yeah, I know we are definitely having money issues, guys. But I think in the long run, it's worth it. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm wrong? Come on. Tell me, am I wrong or
Projects are
right?
Reshaping the city. One delivered on time and budget. One became a nightmare of delays and cost blowouts.
Yeah, of
And
course
one
it is.
threatens to bankrupt the entire state. By 2029, Victoria's debt will reach $194 billion. The interest payments alone could fund the entire suburban rail loop. This is engineering ambition, gambling a state's future. Let's find out how we got here. The Metro Tunnel is everything a mega project should be. 9 kilometers of twin tunnels carved beneath Melbourne's beating heart. 5 underground stations that feel more like cathedrals than subway stops.
All right.
Construction began in 2018 with tunnel boring machines named Joan and Meg.
Ah,
These
yes.
mechanical beasts weighed 4,000 tons each.
Man, that's a lot of weight, guys. Imagine being that heavy, huh? I think they need to go on a cutting exercise, you know, for the gym.
And stretched 130 meters from nose to tail.
Jesus,
Chewed
that's
through
it's
rock
long.
and clay 25 meters below the surface, advancing 15 meters per day through some of Melbourne's most challenging geology. The underground obstacle course was mind-bending. Water mains, gas pipes, electrical cables, and century-old sewers all had to be mapped and protected. Some infrastructure
Definitely.
dated back to the 1800s, with no accurate records of exact locations. Ground-penetrating radar.
really
and
interested in
careful
this stuff,
excavation
guys. Let me
revealed
know what you
surprises
guys
at
think.
every turn. The engineering was surgical. At State Library Station, workers excavated a cavern 240 meters long and 20 meters wide, directly beneath one of Melbourne's most treasured buildings. The platforms stretch 18 meters across, some of the widest metro platforms on Earth. Every cubic meter of soil removal required precision monitoring
Damn.
to prevent any settlement damage to the heritage structure above.
Come on, guys.
But the real achievement was staying on schedule and budget. The tunnel opened November 30th, 2025, exactly as planned.
Good.
Full passenger service began February 1st,
At least that's not.
2026.
At least they're doing
The
something
final
right.
cost, $15 billion, right on target.
Yep. So this is the
what
one we
victory
just
looks like
watched.
in mega project terms. The Metro Tunnel adds 1,000 weekly train services to Melbourne's network.
Damn.
It's the first major rail reconfiguration in decades, connecting the Cranbourne and Pakenham lines to the Sunbury line for the first time.
Oh, yep.
Passengers who once faced 90-minute commutes now reach the city in 45 minutes.
Oh, it's
The tunnel
definitely an
handles
improvement.
200,000 passengers daily,
Half the
taking
time.
pressure off the overcrowded city loop. The success wasn't accidental. The Victorian government learned from Sydney's costly metro mistakes. They locked in contracts early, managed soil conditions carefully, and avoided the scope creep that kills budgets.
Yeah.
The Metro Tunnel proved that mega projects could succeed with proper planning, realistic budgeting, and disciplined execution. It set a standard that would make the
Yeah, I
failures
think
of
the
Sydney
engineering
even more
definitely
painful to
helps.
witness. Yet this triumph would soon be overshadowed by its troubled siblings. The Westgate Tunnel was supposed to be simple.
Okay, here we
A
go.
$5.5
Something
billion
different.
solution to Melbourne's western traffic nightmare, ready by September 2022. Instead, it became a masterclass in how mega
I think I
projects
remember
spiral
this
out
one.
of control. The concept seems straightforward. Dig 4-kilometer twin tunnels under Yarraville, build
Yep.
elevated tollways, and give western suburbs a direct route to the city.
Yeah,
No more crawling across
straightforward.
the aging Westgate Bridge in peak hour traffic. Construction began in 2018 with confidence and fanfare. Then reality hit. The
Uh-oh.
soil was contaminated. Decades of industrial activity had poisoned the earth with chemicals that couldn't
Oh,
simply
so
be
that's
dumped in
why
regular
it became a
landfills.
problem.
Every cubic meter needed special treatment, special
Damn.
transport, special disposal sites. The budget exploded. 5.5
Yeah, it definitely
billion
would.
dollars became 7, then 9, then nearly 12 billion. More than double the original promise. The timeline collapsed. September 2022 became 23, then 24, then maybe by the end of 25. 3 years
Ah, it's
behind
still
schedule and
going.
counting. But the government pressed on.
Yeah,
Too
well,
much-
sometimes that's gonna happen. It just happens. You got two options when this kind of thing happens: scrap it, or just deal with it and move on. I personally think they should just move on. They're going to lose money, obviously, but the benefits for the city is greater than any money you'll lose. See, I'm not a person that really gives a shit about money too much. If I lose a little bit of money there and there, so be it. I mean, I'm that type of person. But I'm not really money focused. I'm more of the well. Here's the thing: as long as you got money to survive, that's what matters to me.
Much money was already in the ground. Too many political promises were at stake. The tunnels themselves are impressive. Boring machines carved
Yeah.
through challenging geology while traffic flowed overhead. The elevated sections soar 40 meters above residential streets,
Damn.
requiring precision engineering to minimize noise and visual impact. On November 16th, 2025,
I don't even know about half
over
of these
50,000
roads.
people walked through the completed tunnels on Discovery Day. Families strolled where cars would soon speed. Children ran through spaces that would be off limits forever once traffic began. The Westgate Tunnel became a
Definitely.
warning. It showed how quickly a straightforward project could become a financial disaster. The contaminated soil crisis alone added $4 billion to the budget. Yet even this nightmare pales beside the monster still under construction. The suburban rail loop makes the Westgate Tunnel look like pocket change. It's a 90-kilometer orbital railway that would circle Melbourne's suburbs, connecting every major train line without touching the city centre.
Oh, now this is what we need. This I can live with, guys. That means I can get to my mate's house much faster than normal. I don't know why I check my phone. Oh yeah, this will make it much easier to get to my friend's house because she lives over on this direction. I live well. She lives a bit further out. I live around, I think, here somewhere. So if there's a train line going here to there, that'll make it look like okay. Yes, it's a bit further away, but we'll see how we go.
Think of it as Melbourne's version of London's Circle Line, but carved entirely through rock and clay.
It goes to Box
The
Hill,
original
which is
pitch in
perfect.
2018 was seductive. $34.5 billion for the complete loop. 3 phases over decades.
You know what? If this
A
gets done, I
transformational
might have to
project
do
that
this,
would
guys,
reshape
as
how
a
5 million
video.
people move around Australia's
I'll
second
never
largest
do a
city.
stream because I'm not that
The
type of
reality is
person,
far
but I
more
can
expensive.
definitely do a video.
Phase 1 alone, covering just the eastern section from
All right, here we go. Look at this, guys. Oh, actually would help me out. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys. I'm gonna give myself into trouble here. I don't care. I'm always doing that. I live right there, Heidelberg. I've got Reservoir over there, which is very close. Actually, that's funny. If it connects from Heidelberg directly to Reservoir, I can get to the boys' house in minutes. Instead of going all the way to Northlands and catching a bus out, which is my shopping centre. But it doesn't really matter because it's not much. It's not really a long trip. It's like 30 minutes in total, so it's not a big difference. Now this one here, from here to here, would be different. A big difference. Because I usually catch a bus from my area. It will go all the way around here to Box Hill. If we can catch a train directly from the train station straight there, I'll probably get half there and half the time. Then I can catch another train from Box Hill all the way out to where my friends is, much further over that direction. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Cheltenham to Box Hill now costs over $95 billion.
What? 95 billion? I mean, the other two don't even come close.
That's more than double the original estimate for the entire loop. We're talking about 26 kilometers of fully tunneled metro corridor that will take 13 years to complete.
Yeah, I imagine
Construction
so.
is already underway. Tunnel boring machines are arriving in early 2026, ready to chew through Melbourne's eastern suburbs.
Good. I
6
want to see.
underground
I'm going to
stations
keep an
will
eye on
rise
this,
from the
guys.
earth
We'll keep
like
an eye on
concrete
this.
monuments to ambition. The engineering challenges are immense. The tunnels must pass beneath existing rail lines, highways, and thousands of homes. Each station requires
That's going to be such a risk because if they screw up, they could cause a gas explosion or a sewage issue, or even cut power, or even collapse a building. Now, Heidelberg and Doncaster and all that, I've got a lot of buildings. Heidelberg's been really developing bigger buildings, so maybe one day, guys, if the channel wants it, we should go down to Melbourne. It's funny because this channel originally was for my gaming, doing my trading card stuff, but and all that, which I still do. I do still do it on this channel, just not as much because that requires Maling. Oh yeah, on the side, this kind of stuff is interesting to me.
massive excavations in densely populated areas. The Monash station alone sits
Oh,
beneath one of
God.
Australia's busiest university campuses. But the real challenge isn't engineering, it's political survival. Opposition leader
Ah, yes, the political problems.
Brad Batten has promised to cancel the project if elected in 20.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you should be doing that, dude. Here's the thing. They've already started it. What's the fucking point of cancelling? Look at this guy. Looks like he's drunk. He shouldn't be cancelling projects just because... Yes, okay, yes, it's expensive. I'm not going to deny that. It's a lot of money. But the benefits will definitely outweigh the cost in the long term. Sometimes you just got to look at the long term, guys. Stop looking at the short term.
2026, declaring, "We cannot afford this white elephant," at every press conference. The Liberal Party sees the suburban rail loop as their path back to power. Yet cancellation might be impossible, with contracts worth billions already signed and tunnel boring machines costing hundreds of
Yeah, said it already started, so there's no point cancelling it. It's too late, dude.
millions. The compensation payments alone could reach $20 billion.
Yeah, there's no point to doing that. There's no point now. You better off going through it with it. It's already mostly paid off in a way and all that, so there's no point making it more expensive, you dipshit.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese signals more federal funding is coming.
And I don't like him. This guy is a piece of POS. I do not like Anthony Albanese lately. He's too much of a lefty. Not so much lefty, and more take this too much to the political problems we're having in Australia. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I don't want to get this channel in trouble.
Despite already pledging $9 billion.
Oh, $9 billion out of what? How much is it? 95 billion? Yeah, like that's fucking close. Still a dipshit. I hate him so much sometimes.
Commonwealth knows Victoria's collapse would ripple across the national economy. The project has created its own momentum. Too many jobs depend on it. Too many
Yeah.
suppliers are locked in.
Yeah.
Too many political careers are staked on its success. Construction workers speak of generational employment. Entire families plan their futures around suburban rail loop contracts. Engineering firms have hired thousands specifically for this project. The
You can't
tunnels will
change
eventually carry
now.
400,000
Too late.
passengers daily. Travel time from Monash University to Melbourne Airport will drop from 90 minutes to 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's
The
definitely an
economic
improvement.
benefits, proponents argue, will justify every dollar. But the costs keep climbing. Inflation
That's
hits
the
mega
issue
projects
we're
harder
having.
than household budgets. Steel prices surge. Concrete costs
Yeah, it's going to cost more, guys. It's going to be expensive. What do you expect? It's
Costs double. Skilled labor becomes scarce as every state pursues infrastructure spending. The suburban rail loop has become too big to cancel and too expensive to complete. It's the ultimate megaproject trap, driving Victoria toward a fiscal cliff with no easy escape.
my recommendation.
The
Just
Auditor
do it.
General's warning is stark. Victoria's debt trajectory is not financially sustainable. By 2029, the state will owe $194 billion. Interest payments
Okay, that's not as bad as you think it is, but we probably can pay that off.
have become the far
Once we get these infrastructure stuff done, we probably won't need to do one for a while, so it's probably start paying it off. As long as we can keep the jobs going up and the crime. The crime's the bigger issue.
fastest growing expense in the budget, consuming $36 billion over 4 years.
Yeah.
That's enough money to build the entire metro tunnel twice over. The debt spiral threatens more than just Victoria's budget.
Oh,
If Australia's economic powerhouse stumbles under this burden, the shockwaves will ripple across the national economy. Victoria generates 25% of Australia's GDP. Its
yeah.
collapse would drag down the entire federation. The irony is crushing. The metro tunnel success is overshadowed by the financial crisis created by its siblings. One triumph, one disaster, one monster, and together they're breaking Australia's richest state. What do you think? Are these megaprojects worth the massive debt they're creating? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories about the world's most ambitious engineering gambles.
I think it is overall. I mean, yes, it's going to cost a lot of money and it's going to take time to repay. But I personally think it would be. Like I said, money is one of those things that we can make more money, okay? We could just make more money. Anyway, I'm going to stop watching these ones because we're. Yeah, there are a lot of like stuff on the side we could be watching, but I think that's enough for the this type of stuff. I'm going to look at some other Australian creators, and then we'll work something else out afterwards. We're nearly 45 minutes into the stream, so. What's the wrong button? God damn it! First of all, okay, let's look. Let's see if TJ's done anything lately. I don't think I can really watch his because of the he put it all members, I think. No, I don't think he did actually. No, that's his personal one. All right, nothing really there. Let's go to. Chris. I'll get his name right. I'm probably gonna get it wrong, guys. I think that's it there. I think that's his name. I'm probably get. Oh god, I got it right. Fantastic. Let's see what this guy's up to. So yeah, this is this dude, guys. I actually do follow him. I think it's this guy. It is this guy, right? Yeah, it is. It just looks different, that's all. See what kind of stuff's going on. Alright, so he's talking. There's a lot of political. He's got a few things here, actually. We've got started, guys. I've got a few things I want to watch. At least 3 of them, at least. Alright, let's do that. I think after this one, guys, we'll start looking at see if there's anything going on interesting on Locale Live. I'll record it, but if there's nothing interesting, I'll just delete the recording. So I want to hear what their opinions about LPM.
Hi, my name's Chris. I live in Australia. And recently there's been petitions popping up to remove our Prime Minister. Petitions popping up to remove Anthony Albanese. There was a change.org petition that popped up and had over 300,000 people sign it.
Damn, that's a lot of
And
people.
There was another one through the Parliament that popped up, had 160,000 plus people sign it. I guess the question today is, do these e-petitions, would they work? Could these e-petitions remove a Prime Minister? I'll let you guys leave your thoughts down below in the comments about it, but there's been them 2 big ones and then plenty of other ones pop up that have a few hundred or a few thousand votes, but not to them numbers. I'm going to give my thoughts about it though. So when it comes to these e-petitions, I guess the first things first is democracy. So we have our time to vote, we have our time to have our say, and that's when the election's happening. So you cast your vote, even though it's a preferential voting system which skews it towards the 2 major parties, but you cast your vote come election time. Then after the election, it's only been a couple of months since the election, and now there's e-petitions popping up saying remove the Prime Minister, change the Prime Minister. So I guess a very short is part of democracy. We have an election, and then you can't override the results of election with a couple of e-petitions, especially change.org. That's just a random polling site.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to change it because some people are not happy. I mean, I don't like him, but
It's nothing to do with
you
our
need to do
government or anything like that.
it the
It's
right
just a
way.
random website. It has no political or, I guess, constitutional influence whatsoever. On the election that happened in 2025, just over 18 million people voted in Australia, and just over a third first preferenced the Labor government, which has got Anthony Albanese, which means 2/3 of people did not first preference. And so I guess we cross-reference, change.org had the largest e-petition signage. If we cross-reference the 300,000 from Change.org to the 2/3 of Australia who didn't first preference Labor, that 300,000 against the 2/3 who didn't vote for Labor, it's only about just over 2% of the people who didn't vote for Labor who were signing these petitions. So it's not enough to move the needle. So it's 2% of the people who didn't want Labor signing the biggest e-petition. It's not
Yeah.
to get the needle, guys. It's not enough numbers. You start seeing numbers like 9 million,
Not gonna do
11
anything.
million people signing these petitions, and it's showing that people are bleeding out of the Labor Party. Then it starts to make sense, and it starts to show that there's something's happening here. But what these petitions do, it does show that there is some temperature. It shows that there's some action. People are very unhappy to the point.
Yeah.
Going out and they're signing these petitions through. But what if they worked? What if a petition could change it? So has there been an example where a Prime Minister has been removed? And if we go back to 1975, Gough Whitlam was the Prime Minister of Australia, the Labor Prime Minister, and then essentially the opposition was all in Senate at the time. So the Senate blocked Gough Whitlam from being able to use government spending. So the Senate blocked the budget, essentially, which led to a complete government jam-up, and it led to Malcolm Fraser overthrowing Gough Whitlam. Well, essentially it wasn't an overthrow. The Senate blocked it, and then the Governor-General said, wait, government's not functioning, we're in a constitutional crisis. And then they put the opposition leader in place over Gough Whitlam until they could run an election through. So if these e-petitions could lead to the government being blocked. So let's run through the first example. So Albanese gets blocked, Governor-General says, okay, overthrow it. That means they would go across to the opposition leader until the next election is called. Do you want Susan Lee in charge? Well,
No.
Elbow goes to the opposition leader, goes to Susan Lee. Do you want Susan Lee?
I don't know. I don't know enough.
Is Susan Lee going to be better than Elbow? You've got to ask yourself these questions. Is that what you want when you do these petitions? Do you want Susan Lee in charge over Elbow? My views on Susan Lee is that she is in my opinion, a corporate Karen. Career politician sitting in there for so long, just being a corporate Karen, that she managed to crawl her way to the top. And then the only reason she's in right now is because of DEI. Okay, so Dutton, remember earlier in the year, Dutton, he was the head of the Liberal Party, yeah?
Yes, I remember.
Repulsed the female vote so far that when he lost power out of the Liberal Party, didn't even win his seat back, they said, let's get Susan Lee in there, DEI, because let's try and reconnect with the woman vote. Okay? It's DEI at its finest. So the Conservative vote doesn't want that. The Conservative vote wants the best person for the job to be in. Now, if Susan Lee is the best person for the job for the Liberal Party, oh yeah, God help him, God help him. So
yeah, that's probably true.
Is not a solution. The Liberal Party is like the Titanic right now. It's got a huge gash in the hull. It's taking on water. So not only does it need to patch the hull, it also needs to turn the ship around. So Liberal Party right now is not the solution. You don't want to remove Elbow and put in Susan Lee. It's just not optimal. Because in that case, Gough Whitlam to Malcolm Fraser, it went to the opposition leader. Okay, so you don't get to pick who goes in charge. Went to the opposition leader. So it would go from Albanese to Lee. Okay, so if it doesn't go to the opposition, what if it went to an internal party overthrow? Kind of like what we saw with Gillard and Rudd, where Labor repositions their Prime Minister across. What if it goes down that path? So currently we have Albanese in, and then Labor's going to pick someone new. Who do you want? Do you want Penny Wong? Do you want Chalmers?
Why not?
Do you want Tony Burke? Do you want Tony Burke to be the next Prime Minister? Who do you want them to pick? I think realistically, we're probably going to get Richard Marles come in. He's a Deputy PM right now, and he's a Minister for Defence. How much do you know about Richard Marles? Well, you know, Richard Marles, very quiet, isn't he? He's a career politician, joined up with Young Labor back in his early days in university. Did some very small stints around. I think he worked for Gordon Slater as a lawyer just for a little bit. Then he's straight back in the political system all the way through. And he has just been playing politics for decades at this point, just running through, trying to get power grab after power grab. And he's like the nuclear submarines. He's very quiet from the depths of the Labor Party, has slowly raised up to the top. And he's just sitting there quiet from the depths like a submarine, slowly rising to the top, trying to not make any ripples. The ripples being what we, the people, can see up the top. Trying to make any ripples or anything like that, no disruptions. And he's just waiting.
So, well, after his script videos, guys, we're just going to watch random videos. No more political stuff. I just want to see what people are thinking, that's all.
Would replacing Richard Marles right now?
And also, I've got something to talk about at the end of this video.
Yes.
About make it.
I think it's going to be the same old Labor. I don't think any of the options on the table really make much of a difference right now. Say, switching to the opposition leader.
Where does he live? It's nice and beautiful around where he is. Got the giant lake over there, you got some nice houses over there.
Who do you want in? I don't think it's going to make a difference at
got
this
the
point.
nice bike with that guy driving across
We
it.
just need to wait and observe until the next election. We need to watch. We need to be patient. If we believe in democracy for the country, what we need to do is we need to wait. We need to wait. We need to watch.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
What these politicians do over the next couple of years to the next election. We need to create noise about what we don't like. We need to vent our frustrations. We need to create space for politicians out there to be able to talk, to be able to have the discourse, to be able to have the conversations of what we're frustrated about, what we don't like. Because if we stay quiet across this time, if we don't talk about it, we let the politicians set the rules and frame what they want to talk about and frame the agenda, and we're quiet, well, the politicians who would speak up, the ones who would step into the spaces that we create, are not going to be able to. They're going to sit there, they're going to toe the party line. So we need to create disruption in the conversation. We need to reframe the conversations. We need to vent our frustrations out there. We need to tell people, make noise, because it creates the space. It creates the space for other politicians who would change stuff to be able to speak for us. A lot of people say there is no political solution, but I think there is.
There's always a political
for these conversations, for this discourse, for this political solution to occur. This country is currently wounded in a battlefield. And it's us, the citizens, that are out there on the country, and we're applying the bandages. We're applying pressure to the wound to stop the bleed. This country's bleeding out. And what we need, we're screaming for a medic. We're screaming for a medic to come in and help. We're bleeding in the trenches here, guys. We need to create the space and the pathway for the medic to come through the battlefield to the wounded, to put the bandages on properly, to apply the pressure for us, to patch the wounds and hopefully get us back on our feet. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want to get back on our feet. We want this country up and running again. And unfortunately, the space is not being created. The space is being suppressed. We need the medic. We need to put the pressure on. We need to get back on our feet for this country.
Yes, we
Because
do, guys. That's
if we
exactly what we
bleed
need
out,
to do.
If we don't get that medic soon, well, I'll let you picture what the death of a nation looks like. Leave your thoughts down below. Do you think petitions can make a difference? Do you think we just need to keep applying upward pressure until the next election? What are your thoughts? Is there a political solution? Let me
Yeah, I think pushing pressure onto them is probably your best bet. I don't think the Patreon, what's it, Patreon or whatever they call it, the website. I don't think that's going to happen at all, personally. Let's see what else. Awesome. You know what? I don't think there's really anything else I really want to watch at the moment. I mean, he does make a lot of videos, but he doesn't make them like daily or anything. But yeah, I think we'll leave him alone. That was a good video, and he's right for most of it. I mean, we do need. I think we do need to get rid of the ADMO, but we need to do it the right way. We can't just, get rid of him and place him with the opposition. Apparently, they're probably going to be no better than he is, or even worse. I mean, you don't know what they could do. But yeah, that's about it. I'm going to watch some Locale, guys, and then we'll probably see what else we'll watch, and then we'll